Hey Tony, it's Friday, and first off, to answer your question of the week, here's a fun punishment for you. You need to do a time lapse video of you doing the stairs at Dick Stadium with your full pack on for an hour and a half. Because elevation's important, and according to mom and dad, you haven't been doing enough elevation. Mount Washington's coming up here soon. You need to pump up more elevation, and Dick Stadium is a great place to do it. So that's my punishment for you. So you have to make a time lapse of an hour and a half on the Dick Stadium stairs with your full pack. Clearly you have water, so you should be okay. But I kind of want you to be in pain the next few days. I'll be honest, because it's important. So what I want to talk about today, Tony, is kind of in the same vein of outdoors, athletics, and sports and things like that. Because one thing I noticed for me the past week is how much different my sports are now compared to how they were 6 years ago. So, 6 years ago, I was all into, team sports, competitive team sports, things like that. So, like baseball, football, Quidditch, soccer, etc., etc. Like all the sports that I played growing up, except for cross country, but all the sports I played growing up were pretty much competitive team sports. And as I've gotten older, particularly the past couple of years, I've really noticed that my sports have completely changed. I've focused a lot more on personal sports, focused a lot more on kind of me versus the elements type things. I guess that's not really the right term, but like me versus my mental state, I think is probably the more accurate one. Because obviously I've been hiking regularly for a few years now, and that's entirely a you versus your brain, you versus yourself, you pushing your physical limits sport. Because you're pushing yourself further, and like there's no end in sight necessarily. Like you're not doing it to win anything. You're doing it to just conquer yourself, which is something is a thought I kind of like, because it's you can't conquer yourself because you're limited by who you are, by your body, by our puny human physiology. But pushing those limits is something I really enjoy doing. This past week, I went rock climbing for the first time in a long time. There's a great rock climbing gym that's about 10 minutes away, and I had a blast yesterday. But I was really sore afterwards. But much of it was like, besides just like the pain from my hands hurting from bouldering and my forearms, it was also a big part of I had to just get over my own concerns. I had to get over my own personal limitations I set for myself. And I succeeded. Like I had a couple goals in place when I went bouldering yesterday, and I met those. They took me the whole time. And the very last one I did, really, I think, was the one that just pushed me over the edge. Where I was like, okay, I need to leave because I'm hurting myself now, and I need to make sure that I'm not overexerting myself. Because you want soreness, but you don't necessarily want pain and other things like that. Sorry, I did a lot of talking today, so my throat's a little spotty. But that's what, like, I tried to pick up climbing again. I really want to get back into cycling at least a little bit, but I need to get a bike, and that's going to be a little while. But all of these outdoor events, all of these sports, all of these things are entirely me versus myself, me versus my limits. And I can honestly say I really enjoy pushing my limits. It's a very different headspace I feel I'm in now than I was 6 years ago. 6 years ago was, after I had my concussions, and 6 years ago was when I moved to law school and everything changed. But the pushing myself is something I still enjoy. And I'm actually taking a little bit of a weekend off this week because I'm really tired, really sore. It was a really rough week at work. And last weekend I did 18 miles, I think was what I did. So this weekend I'm taking it a little easier. Sunday we're having a graduation party for some of Jay's friends, which will be really nice. We're looking forward to that. Tomorrow we're going to be cleaning around the house, and I might end up going to a reservoir about a half hour away. meeting with our friends Joe and Abby there. But that's kind of I'm not sure if that's going to happen yet, but we'll see. So it's going to be a low-key weekend, but it's going to be one I think my body needs a little bit because, again, as I mentioned earlier, I pushed myself pretty hard the past few weeks, and I can tell that I need a break. So Tony, my question for you is going to be two parts, actually. First part, how much did those stairs hurt? Second off, what are some ways that you kind of try and push your body over your limits? Tony, I'll see you on Monday. Later, bro.